Good morning, everyone. I would like to call our zoning meeting to order. Today happens to be, first of all, the top of our committee, our last committee week for 2022. And I am your chair, Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet, and I'd like to introduce the members of zoning. We have a full complement this morning, which is fantastic. It's so good to see everyone. We have Councilmember Byron Amos to my far left, my far right. Next to him is Councilmember the Honorable Andrea Boone. And to my far left, we have Councilmember Amir Faroki. Sitting next to him is Councilmember Matt Westmoreland. And right to the right of him is Councilmember Howard Shook. And to the right of Howard Shook is Councilmember Mary Norwood. And like I said, we create the zoning committee and we constitute a quorum so we can conduct our business today. As such, we will move on to the adoption of the agenda. Move to adopt the agenda by Norwood, second by Overstreet. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas and 0 nays.
Fantastic. Now we are moving on to the approval of the minutes. I move to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Second by Amos. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Would all members please vote? The vote is closed. 7 yeas and 0 nays.
Thank you. And our next agenda item is the public comment, which I don't think we have any. Do we have public comment? Okay. Okay, fantastic. The prophet would like to speak. Make sure that you are not speaking about anything that's on our agenda today, but we'd love to hear from you. You have 3 minutes.
That's Mike. What's Mike's on? Thank God for the 3 minutes. I mean, that's so generous. Happy New Year. God bless all those good things in Jesus' name, right? Because this is a nation that's founded on Christian principles. So I thought. But my agenda, as always, is to discuss homelessness in Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, DeKalb County, from the government all the way down. We still have problems. People dying on our streets. 19 people froze to death out here in the Atlanta streets, Fulton County streets, due to freezing to death because they were homeless and had nowhere to go. Now, I'm out here in the streets. I'm talking to females from ages 30 to 65 that feel like they want to kill themselves because they feel like their own people don't care nothing about them in these streets, from church to Muslims to whoever that we say we are today. Now, I know that money has been sent down for homeless people, from HUD, from governor, from mayor to city to county. I know there's finances been awarded for people that are in destitute situations. You got people living in your woods. You have people still living in woods. You got people living in houses with no running water and no heat. In a big old city called Atlanta, we say Atlanta is Fulton County and DeKalb County, and Cobb County, and Gwinnett County. So as we calculate, it's over, I say 5,000 people that are homeless from spread it out. Now, that's a lot of people to be homeless. Now, the money that's been made, it was brought to my attention that the government gives stipends or what we call awards or to people that are funding these programs. So everybody run up to these homeless people, throw food in their face, but yet they're still living on the street. You got people, these bridges are full with homeless people, full. And you got in different types of homeless people. So we say, different types when it comes to mental health, when it comes to drugs, and when it comes to people can't find no jobs. I know myself, I was fired off of your job. I was fired off a job at Omni Hotel. Don't that create homeless? If I don't have nobody to pay my bills, wouldn't that make me homeless? But I'm getting fired off a job here in Atlanta. Would that make me homeless if I couldn't work? So we're creating homelessness, much less these other men and women that come onto this podium talking about what's going on in Atlanta. Like I said before, no justice, no peace. Now, we think it's just one of those things. It's going to be a nice little day. Everybody going to be going along with it. It's not going to be like that. After a while, it's not going to be like that. See, whose side are you leaning on? So you got to remember, you know, when you make those comments and when you say those things that go along with the city and you got people dying on your street, you're choosing your side. You're choosing where you want to be. You're choosing what you're going to be in the future. So, like I said, no justice, no peace.
Thank you very much. That concludes public comment, and we're moving on to ordinances for first read. There are 3 ordinances for first read that will be sounded and referred back to zoning committee at the next full council meeting on January 3rd, 2023. So no action is required today. That brings us to ordinances for second read, of which we have none. So for that reason, we will move on down to general remarks. I know, right? For our general remarks, will our Director of Zoning and Development, Kieta Holmes, please give us a briefing?
Yes, ma'am. The focus workshops for ATL Zoning 2.0 began on November the 29th. The next workshop is on January the 17th, where we'll be discussing citywide alternatives. Currently, there is a worksheet from Focus Workshop number 1 that is online on the project website. Once you log onto the project website, you click the red button, online input, and complete the worksheet for that workshop. There are 8 different themes to asking different questions of the residents and stakeholders here in the city. Each one of those themes start with identifying the problem, offering solutions, and then asking questions of the surveyor. We will take up the next workshop on January the 17th, and we have been sending out information since before the 29th, notifying all residents and all stakeholders of the zoning ordinance rewrite, and we'll hope that everyone that is engaged here in the city of Atlanta would participate.
Thank you for that update. I'm going to read a few of our 2022 goals and objectives and go over what we've actually accomplished for the year. After that time, I'd love to hear from our members of zoning about this year and what you'd like to see more of for next year. So we had a total of about 8 goals and objectives for the year. And number 1, determine the best way to divide and the zoning rewrite in order to preserve legacy neighborhoods, bolster density and affordability in appropriate areas, and examine best practices in cities and zoning success. Throughout the year, we had a presentation about the zoning rewrite. It was given to the committee on 8/22/22. Phase 2, covering research and analysis, occurred fall 2020 through summer 2021. Phase 2, where alternative approaches were developed and evaluated to the present phase, occurring summer 2023 through 2021 through 2023. Phase 3, the ordinance drafting will span winter 2023 through summer 2024, and implementation phase 4 is expected to occur summer 2024 through fall 2024. So this is a lot of different dates, and we will put that in an area where everyone will be able to actually look at it and understand the timeline better. Number 2, to be fully engaged in the city zoning's ordinance rewrite, including but not limited to hosting work sessions, participating in public engagement sessions, and providing a forum for reflection, debate, and thought leadership. So the Department of City Planning process for ATL Zoning 2.0 includes 13 rounds of public meetings and workshops, not including the official adoption process. Zoning Committee will have an opportunity to hold more forums for reflection in 2023 as the drafting of the ordinance takes place. Number 3, request the Office of Zoning and Development provide an update in June and December on the status of the zoning rewrite, Part 3, Land Development Code, Section, Chapter 16. An update about the zoning rewrite was given to the committee on 8/22/22. The Director of Zoning and Development gave an update in the closing and final zoning committee meeting today. So thank you. Number 4, request that the Office of Zoning and Development provide a schedule of community engagement meetings scheduled to solicit feedback on zoning ordinance rewrite, Part 3, Land Development Code, Chapter 16. A schedule of public meetings and workshops can be found online, and a flyer is being distributed, this flyer here. And that website is atlzoning.com/meet-and-contribute. And that will also be able to be found on our public website as well. And number 5, review and evaluate existing inclusionary zoning policies, outcomes in similar U.S. cities. This work is ongoing, and we will address this more in 2023 as it is important. Number 6, review and evaluate existing employer-assisted housing policies, outcomes in similar U.S. cities. The council adopted legislation related to the city as an employer developing a policy to aid its employees finding housing assistance in 22-R-4607 on 11/21/22, which requested that the Department of Human Resources and the senior advisor of the mayor provide a strategy to actively market affordable housing opportunities throughout the city to all eligible active city employees, and report to the strategy to both the Finance Committee and the Community Development Human Services Committee before May 31st, 2023. And number 7, review the most recent employee evaluations of the city departments, offices under the purview of the committee. And this work is also ongoing for 2023 as legislated. And number 8, update the status of departmental compliance with the most recent 3 years of audit commitments. The council adopted 22-0-1344 on June 6, 2022. It amends the duties of the city auditor to provide for subsequent reviews in the implementation of the recommendations in its audit reports. This work will also continue in 2023. And now I would like to hear from some of our members as we bid 2022 Zoning Committee farewell. Yes, Councilmember Shook.
I'd like to announce that I'll be taking a year abroad from this committee next year. My chagrin, I might say, I'm going to miss your chairmanship of these meetings, even though many of them went longer than I would have liked. And we'll see if the chair in waiting can challenge your level of efficiency. But seriously, you've done a great job, and we're probably going to have to charge you for a new gavel, less depreciation. But see y'all next year.
Thank you, Councilmember Shook. That's why I have a present for you in my office. Okay, so our next speaker is Councilmember Norwood.
With the employer-assisted housing, I would like to recommend that we add to that, that we work with the CIDs in various parts of the city. We have those all over the city in working with employer-assisted housing, because we have requested that in Buckhead, so that it's a three-legged stool. It is some city assistance, it is employer assistance, and it is the apartment or condominium complex drawing down the amount of, reducing the amount of money that an employee would pay. So it is to get people closer to where they work, and I think that is a laudable goal that ties into employer-assisted housing for our employees, but also all the employees that may be driving long distances and could be closer to at their employment center, whether that's at the airport, whether that's in Southside, whether that's the West End Merchants Association, their CID over there. So you have them all over the city, not just on the northern part of the city.
Absolutely, I like that. Yes. Thank you, Councilmember Norwood. Anyone else like to speak?
The other thing is, I appreciate the fact that the zoning rewrite is focused on the public land that we have, the vacant land that we have, and has been very thoughtful about our single-family residential zoning. And I just want to make sure that this committee has that in our goals, if that is the desire of the committee. It certainly was 19 NPUs that made sure, because we have a lot of places that we can densify. I was on the west side today coming down here, and there's a lot we can densify. There's a lot we can tear down that should have been torn down, and we just have a great opportunity to redevelop this city in a way that makes sense.
I agree with you again. I too believe that we have preservation that should be a priority also, and that we have areas where density makes sense. So I will still be on the zoning committee, and I do believe that our chair in waiting is going to allow me to be his vice chair. So those zoning priorities are important to me as well. So thank you. Councilmember Byron Amos.
Yes, basically with the new kid on the block, I just wanted to just say thank you. Thank you to all my colleagues on the committee, definitely to staff, Director of Zoning, council staff, communications, everyone that's got us in at 11 and normally out by 11:20. Just want to say thank you. It's been a wonderful year and looking forward to 2023.
Thank you. Is that it for everyone? Well, I want to thank the entire supporting staff on the legal team, the policy analysis, the senior advisors. Thank you very much for always going out of your way, and city planning especially, to make sure that we look professional and above board, and very much in tune with what we're supposed to be delivering to the city, and I appreciate that very much. I know you're trying to act like you don't hear me, Mr. Jarrett, but thank you very much. All right, thank you. With that, we are adjourned.